What's up, everybody? This is Danny Mathematics here with another example to explore. And today, guys, I want to go over example 4 and example 5 of adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials, okay? We need to add, subtract, or multiply these particular polynomials, right, in order for us to simplify them down to a more simplistic version of this particular expression or this particular polynomial, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing, guys, all right? We're going to be combining like terms. We're going to be adding, subtracting, and if so, or if needed, we will be also multiplying as well if we need to distribute or whatever the case may be, all right? So let's go ahead and start off with example 4. In example 4, guys, we have parentheses 6x minus 5x to the 4th power, parentheses close, minus parentheses 4x to the 4th power plus 6x to the 3rd power plus 3x parentheses close, okay? The first thing, guys, that I always want to tell all of my students, right, or anybody that's studying algebra, always look to see if there's a number that's attached to the parentheses on the outside, right? Let's find it out, guys, all right? Now, if the parentheses doesn't have a number attached to it, then the number is automatically a positive 1, okay? And if the number is a positive 1, right, which is no number, that means that everything will come down the same that's within this particular parentheses, because 1 times a number equals that number. So 6x times 1 still equals, I'm just gonna write the same because I multiply by 1, right? A positive 1. 1 times 6x is still 6x. So once again, 1 times 6x is still 6x. Okay? And then 1 times negative 5x to the 4th power is still negative 5x to the 4th power, or minus 5x. 5x to the 4th power. Okay? Now I have to do the same thing for the second parentheses. I have to see if there's a number in front of it. I don't see a number, so that number will automatically be 1, but I do have an operation sign that's in front of that parentheses, which is a negative sign. So instead of that number being positive 1, it's actually going to be negative 1. And if I multiply everything by negative 1, everything will become its opposite, okay? So if I multiply everything by negative 1, everything will become its opposite. So let me write the word opposite, because I'm multiplying by negative 1, all right, or that negative sign, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So the opposite of positive 4x to the 4th power is a negative 4x to the 4th power, or negative 1 times 4x to the 4th power is a negative 4x to the 4th power, okay? So I got 4x to the 4th power. Negative 1 times a positive 6x to the 3rd power is a negative 6x to the 3rd power. Negative 6x to the 3rd power. And then negative 1 times 3x is a negative 3x. Okay? Now, what we need to do now, guys, is we have successfully distributed the values or the expressions outside of the parentheses, right? Now, the next thing that we need to do, guys, is combine like terms, okay? So the next thing that we need to do, guys, is combine like terms, okay? Now, if you notice, guys, the variable, right, that's within this expression is x. And if you notice, x is to different degrees. So I'm just going to list the degrees that I see. I see x to the 4th power. I see an x to the 3rd power. And I see x to the 1st power, which is this x. And I don't see any constants, okay? So here are the 3 groups, guys, that we need to combine all like terms, okay? So I'm going to combine all like terms that are to x to the 4th power. Okay? which is negative 5x to the 4th power. I gotta also include that negative sign. And then negative 4x to the 4th power. Negative 5 plus negative 4 equals a negative 9. So that's gonna turn out to be negative 9x to the 4th power. So negative 9x to the 4th power, okay? So now I'm done with this particular group. All right, I don't have any more values that have an x to the 4th power. Now I'm going to the next group where it's x to the 3rd power. The only value that I see where x is to the 3rd power is this particular value, which is negative 6x cubed, okay? Or 6x to the 3rd power. If that's the only one, I'm just gonna bring it down, okay? So once again, that's minus 6x to the 3rd power, okay? And then last but not least, guys, we have this x, or x to the 1st power. It's the two remaining values, which is 6x and negative 3x. 6 minus 3 is 3, so that's gonna equal a positive 3x, a positive 3x. Okay, and then guys, I cannot combine these values because these values are not like terms, because each x is to a different degree or a different power. So I cannot combine those. So this right here will be my final answer, okay? Which is negative 9x to the 4th power minus 6x to the 3rd power plus 3x, okay? Now, we're gonna do the same thing for this particular example, which is example 5. We have parentheses, 9x to the 3rd power plus 5x to the 2nd power plus 11x, parentheses close, plus negative 2x to the 3rd power plus 9x minus 8x to the 2nd power, okay? Now, if you notice, guys, there are two different expressions that are in two separate sets of parentheses, right? So let's start off with the first set of parentheses. Once again, there's no number that's attached in front of the parentheses on the outside, so that number is automatically a positive 1, meaning that everything will come down the same, okay? Because if I multiply 1 by everything, everything will stay the same. Okay, so 1 times 9x to the 3rd power is 9x to the 3rd power. One times 5x to the 2nd power is 5x to the 2nd power. And then 1 times 11x is 11x. Okay. Same thing with this one, guys. Now, if you notice, unlike this particular example, the operation was a negative sign or a subtraction sign. Here is a positive sign or a plus sign, meaning that the imaginary number, because there's no number in front of it, is going to be a positive 1. And if it's a positive 1, that means that everything will come down or be distributed as itself, right? So everything will stay the same. Okay? So 1 times a negative 2x cubed is negative 2x cubed, or x to the 3rd power, okay? One times 9x is 9x. So that's gonna be a plus 9x. And then 1 times a negative 8x squared is a negative 8x squared. Negative 8x squared, okay? So once again, guys, I need to identify the variables, right? Which the only variable that we have is x. And remember, guys, the next step is to combine like terms, all like terms, to combine like terms. Okay, so the highest power of x is to the 3rd power, so it's gonna be x cubed. The next highest power that I see is x to the 2nd power. Then I just see x to the 1st power, and I don't see any constants or numbers. So those are the 3 groups that I need to combine. Let's start off with the first group, which is x to the highest power, which is 3. I have this particular value, which is 9x to the third power. I see a negative 2x to the third power, and those are the only two values that I see. 9 minus 2 is 7. So that's going to become 7x to the third power. Okay? All right. Now we're going to do x to the second power. Okay? We're going to combine all the values with x is to the second power. I see a positive 5x squared, and I see a negative 8x squared. 5 minus 8 is a negative 3, so that's going to become a negative 3x squared. So negative 3x squared, okay? And then the last group, guys, that we need to combine is this x to the first power, or this x, right? Which the two values that I see that are remaining are 11x, I'm gonna put a star on top, and 9x, okay? 11 plus 9 is 20, so that will equal to 20x. Okay, and then once again, because these x's are to different powers or different degrees, I cannot combine these terms. So this is the simplest form of this polynomial expression, okay? Which is 7x cubed, or 7x to the third power minus 3x to the second power plus 20x, okay? So once again, guys, this is example 4 and example 5 of how to simplify polynomials. Okay, so thank y'all so much, guys, for tuning in, and I will come out with a few more examples very shortly. Thank you.